chickens.
Do dot dot dot. We talk words so good.
Okay. Today we are going to be making our podcast episodes a bit different than normal. Today we are going to be talking about really vintage figures, really just figures in general.
Collectibles, yeah.
Collectibles. All right. We are going to start our video off saying our favorite lines of figures. So, personally, some of my favorites are Star Wars, vintage food fighters, vintage Motu, Star Wars. Do you have any?
You got your classics. You got your Mochi. You got your Star Wars. You got your food fighters. And I also really like the what?
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, you got your G.I. Joe. You got your Kaiju as well. I really like Kaiju. I also really like Inhumanoids, and I also really like Boglins.
I do like Inhumanoids.
Do you know what Boglins are?
I do know what Boglins are. I'm not as into like collecting them, but I do think they look cool. Maybe like one.
I really do enjoy Boglins. I have, I think, 4.
They are cool.
And I also, if we go over to my shelf, and I'll just walk over to my shelf really quickly. Just look at what I have. I've got a lot of stuff. I really like Reaction as well, and I also really like the Pee-wee's Playhouse, the vintage Pee-wee's Playhouse figures. I only have 2, but the ones that I do have are very amazing.
Yeah.
I do enjoy a lot of lines of figures.
Yeah, I enjoy Palisades as well, especially the Muppets line.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also like the Black Star Trobits line, and those smaller type kind of little rubbery figures. Those are really cool.
Yeah. Pretty much anything Star Wars and Marvel.
I'm also really into bendies, and specifically, do you know what Gumby is?
Mm-mm.
Gumby, little green. He's basically like from in the 50s. This guy. It was for like a school project or something, like a college project, where he made like this like little stop motion, like episode of a little stop motion short kind of, where this little green. He was like a green weird little blob, not a blob, but here I don't have any like. I would have to go and like get them out right now, but I'll show you. My friend made this.
Oh.
So that's Gumby. It's like this is not.
Maybe describe it for the podcast listeners.
What?
Maybe describe it for the podcast listeners.
Yeah, green guy with like a weird pointy head. I bet a lot of people know what Gumby is. But yeah, I really like Gumbies, and I also really like bendies, which are like, bendies, like the weird kind of rubber things that have wires, and so you bend them and they stay.
Yeah.
Have a bunch of those.
Nice. Well,
I also really like Chinosaurs, which is just kind of this weird little thing. They're not really a line, but it's like those are pretty fun.
Chinosaurs, if you don't know, they're like.
You know when you were in kindergarten?
What's made in China?
Yeah, when you were in kindergarten and there was those dinosaurs or like animals, and there's no like things on them that say like, oh, like the line, like the company, they just say made in China.
Yeah.
That's a Chinosaur.
Then with that, let's talk about our newest collection pickups.
Yeah, so the only thing that I've actually really recently got is my cherry.
Yeah, I haven't got as many new things recently. Recently, I actually picked up the Vintage Food Fighters short stack, which, if you don't know, it's a line from 1988. And short stack, it's like a stack of pancakes that's like an army soldier.
Yeah, I guess I also got a couple boglins as well.
Okay.
And what's the most recent collection pickups that I have gotten? I mean,
Oh, I don't know if this is as interesting for like a figure channel or figure podcast. But I have recently picked up some new Pokemon plush for my Pokemon collection.
oh, that reminds me. I also got those little Ewok stuffed animals. That used to be my dad's here. I have one actually right here.
Okay. Ooh.
These weird little Ewoks.
Other than that, I don't. Is there anything else I picked up recently? I know you picked up the Klaatu from me actually recently. Vintage Star Wars. What? Dude, what are you doing? This is a podcast. You gotta talk.
Oh God. What did you? Yeah, I got that Klaatu from you. That was pretty recent.
Yeah.
And what else did I really get recently? I mean, not much actually. The thing is, right now, I've collected all, in quotes, all of the sort of less expensive things that I want to buy. So now it's the things that are $40 and stuff that I have to save up for. So yeah, I haven't really gotten anything very recently. This would have been best in the time where I had that craze where I got a bunch of vintage Kenner Star Wars figures.
Yeah. But it was a good time. I got a trade for it. Anyway, actually, with that, why don't we talk about the vintage Star Wars Kenner line?
Fine, yeah. Well, I mean, one of the best lines of figures ever created. Yeah, it's really kind of disappointing that. I mean, it's just I wish that they kept making their figures the same way.
Yeah,
But
it was
they just got too
contract to not break, and they broke the contract.
they got too the figures that they made got too high budget. I feel like one of the joy and the awesomeness about those vintage figures is how not simple, but they're pretty simple. They're smaller figures, and they're very, very detailed, but not as much so as the newer figures that they've been making.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've started the retro collection, which is the same style pretty much.
But it can never be the same.
I mean, it's still made.
Man, it can never be the same as the OG, the vintage, that line. Really can't.
Probably some of the best Star Wars figures in the line. I'd say probably like obviously the Jabba, the 1983 Jabba the Hutt playset.
That is the best figure.
It's great. It's great.
It's more great.
The last 17 a man figure.
Yes. Which I have both of those figures, not to brag, but oh god,
that's
my dog.
so great as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched this, there was a show, there's a show called the Toys That Made Us. Great show. Great show.
Great show.
It's on Netflix, and I loved the Star Wars episode and the Motu episode. One of my favorites. I also like the G.I. Joe.
I recommend the G.I. Joe as well. I liked the G.I. Joe. Yeah,
and so that's one of the best shows. And the Star Wars episode had so much information. And it's like from that I learned that like Star Wars took inspiration from like other, and also what I learned, the cool little fact where there was like there was like a conference where they were like, how are we gonna make these figures? And I don't know, I think it was the creator of like the designer of the figures went, we're gonna make them this tall and put his fingers out like this.
Yeah.
And that was exactly how big they ended up making the scale of the figures. So
yeah,
so yeah, I mean, a lot of cool stuff in that show and the episode as well.
Recommend it to any Star Wars Motu G.I. Joe collectors, and also people who want to learn more about the lines. Definitely.
Yeah. Totally.
There's also a lot of other episodes. There's like Barbie. I think there's Ninja Turtles and Transformers, maybe Power Rangers.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles is also a really great episode. Watch that one.
I haven't seen the Ninja Turtles yet. I probably should. I'm interested in collecting that line, actually.
Of course you are.
And I collect too much. If you guys don't know, there's like at least like 30 major lines I collect, and then like so many on the list to start collecting.
Dude, it's like God, it's really, it's like you there's so many that you collect so much.
But I love each and every line I collect individually so much. So I don't know.
Well, do you have anything else to say? I think that's all I have. Do you have anything? Because I'm all out of stuff.
What are we planning on getting in the near future?
The near future? Okay, well, lots of stuff that I am planning on getting. I am planning on picking up the Pee Wee Herman vintage Matchbox figure that goes with the cherry. I am also planning on picking up more food fighters, definitely. Specifically the hot dog.
I was actually as well going to pick up the hot dog right when I was gonna buy it, I saw that it was sold out. It was like $30, like $35 for
such a good deal, yeah.
Yeah, for the complete vintage Food Fighters hot dog, and it was like great condition. Like there's like no
really, probably the best you could probably find.
Yeah, but it's gone now.
Which you can't really blame whoever bought it. Because it's like you would have been the person that, if you would have got it, would have been somebody else that, oh no, it's sold out, and you would have been that one. So, you can't really be too surprised because that's a great deal. But I'm also planning on picking up I think it was like a ultra, or like a kaiju. Like some kaiju, it was like exclusive to one thing, and not that much money, and it's really cool, like handmade, I think, or at least hand painted. And so planning on picking that up as well. So I mean, probably more Motu
Yeah,
if there's anything that I see that I want. But yeah.
Yeah, I collect Pokemon cards as well, and I need a new binder, so I was thinking about getting that as well.
Mhm.
Anyway, I think that just about wraps up.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and we will see you guys in the next episode of our podcast. Stay tuned, because I think we might do more podcast episodes like this one.
Goodbye, chickens.